But best part of 20 years during your football career, you gambled all the way through it. At what point, what made you start going to the meetings? At what point did you say this is...
My wife Sarah, who's an incredible woman, she basically, when I was in hospital, recovering from sort of, I say recovering, holding on to my last breath, there was times where my wife didn't have any money, which was tragic because I'd earned all this money and she was in the house bringing up children and I'd had no money and she couldn't pay bills. And a good friend of mine actually came round to the house and he put £10,000 in her account, and just to make sure that everything was fine while I was in hospital. And then when I came out of hospital, I continued to gamble, which was ridiculous. And I remember I went out one afternoon and I'd had a few drinks and everything else, and I got up about 5 o'clock in the morning. I could hear banging upstairs, and I didn't realise that my wife was packing her bags, and she was packing the kids' bags. She was filling up the suitcases, and I thought, she came downstairs, and I slept. We got a 3-story house, and I'd slept on the middle floor. She was upstairs at this particular night on the 3rd floor, the highest floor. So she'd come downstairs and I could hear the banging of the suitcases coming down the stairs, and she opened the door while I was sleeping from the night before in the middle bedroom. And she said, "Wake up," she said, "I've got something to tell you." And I was a little bit worse for wear from being out and everything else. And she says, I'm leaving you today. She says, "I'm going." Now, normally when women say things, they've thought about it. Through experience, they've thought about it, and it's not hasty, it's not something to upset you, they mean it. And she said, "I'm not sitting back any longer and watching you put yourself through what you're putting yourself through." She said, "I've been there every second while you're in hospital." She said, "And I'm also not allowing you to put me and the girls through this." She said, "It's unacceptable what you're doing to yourself." She said, "You're gambling, you're out of control. It's no good." She said, I'm going to my mum's." She was just about to get the flight, and I basically broke down. That was it. And that was the moment where rock bottom. And I pleaded with her on my hands and knees not to go. "Don't go, please. I'll get help." And that Sunday, she said to me, "You get yourself on that computer and you look for a Gamblers Anonymous meeting. Go to meetings," because I tried everything. My managers of football clubs had pleaded with me, my agents, my family. They'd offered to take my money, some of my wages, so I could get help, and nothing worked. Nothing worked. If you're a gambling addict or any addict, nothing works. So I went on the computer and I phoned up Gamblers Anonymous in Swansea, and there was a meeting on that Sunday night, and I picked up the phone and I said, "Hello there, can I come to a meeting tonight?" They said yes. They start at 7:30. We welcome everybody here. It's anonymous. I never told them who I was, never told them even my name. They said, "Yeah, the meeting." So I walked into that meeting on October the 5th, 2011. And it was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And people were looking all of a sudden. Everybody knew who I was. It was in Swansea where I was brought up and where I was currently living. And I have not bought a raffle ticket since. And it's been almost 6 years.